Hi there. Today I'll show you how to recreate vulnerability which has been recently published by Next.js.org. It's called CVE-2025-29927 and they have written in their article that they have already fixed and there is a timeline of this issue, and it actually happened February 27th. The disclosure to Next.js team has been done, and then they started to fix the vulnerability. They pushed it to the latest Next.js version, which means that if you run the latest Next.js 15 version, it should have been fixed, and 14 and actually 13 and 12, but meaning that you have to update the version of 13. For example, if you have been running Next.js 14.2.24, this version is still vulnerable, but with the new release of 2.25 it has been patched and fixed. And the main point of this vulnerability is that if you send a request to protected route with which is protected by middleware.ts or JS, use with the including header x middleware sub request with such values, or there are some other cases when you, for example, run src folder, the value should be a bit different. So when you run make a request with such a headers, you are able to access protected route, and the impacted applications are basically self-hosted Next application using middleware. So it actually means that when you run Vercel and not self-host, as you can see, this is not affected. Those which run in Vercel or Netlify, or those applications which are exported as static exports, because middleware is not executed, those are not affected. But in case you self-host Next.js application with your own server and let's say with the Nginx or something else, your application is probably vulnerable to such attacks. So today we are going to recreate this issue by creating Next.js application with a version which is vulnerable, and I have a small instructions on how to do that. And as you can see, you should create Next application with the version 14.2.24, which was before the fix. And this way, when you have this version, you can recreate this vulnerability. And as you can see, I'm running the exact version. So that's the first step. The second step is to add protected route, and I have done that by creating a simple route inside of API protected. And the next step, add middleware, which has been added. I already tried to fix the issue, but I later explain why it doesn't work. So this is middleware which protects the protected route, as you can see. And if we run it, it should say unauthorized. I disabled the header. But now let's see what's next. we have to build and start. If you try to recreate this issue on the development server, it will not work. So let's try to build application. Okay, it's done, and now let's start it. The application has been started, and now if we go to Postman and run this road, it's still going to be unauthorized because we haven't injected the vulnerable header into the request. So let's see what is the next step. We've done those steps, and let's try to reproduce by calling this road with vulnerable header. But before, it suggested to make a test normal behavior, which we did. And now how we see the vulnerability is by attaching this header to our request. And as you can see, I attached it, and you have to put this value into the header value. But it is only related to app router. When you run src, when you have a src folder, the values should be different, slightly different, and I'll attach those. I'll actually mention those values inside of this readme. Sorry. So once we done this, we can try to send the request, and as you can see, the protected road now becomes unprotected, and we are able to access it. I found a suggestion to fix this issue by adding checks for header inside of middleware, and let's see if it's gonna work or not. So when we add that, we have to add request, next request, and let's build it again. Okay, and let's start the production server, and if we run the same call, you can see that the road is still not protected, even though we used this check for the header. And the problem with that is that the vulnerability happens even before middleware has been is executed, so it doesn't make sense to do this. The only thing which makes sense is to fix this inside of your Nginx load balancer. And if you run Nginx, for example, you can write if statement before your road, before your application, and this way you actually run checks even before any Next.js code is executed even before the vulnerability. That's why this strategy works. So yeah, that's how we recreate the issue, how we reproduce this vulnerability. I really hope that this video was helpful for you, and let me know about your case in the comments. And if you have any questions, we can try solving them together. Thank you again and see you soon. Bye.